Hey everyone, Mr. Gold here. So, as you can see by my shirt and the background, Mr. Huerta and I were ready for spring break. But then when we found out spring break was donezo, we decided a project would be a great idea. So, wow. Your task is, and yes, I'm reading it off the computer, to figure out how many cups it will take to fill your sink with your chosen beverage. Your favorite drink distributor has agreed to give you a free supply of your favorite drink to help survive being stuck inside. The catch is that you only have enough supply that fills up your sink. Hope you have a big sink. Haha. Using one cup or glass found in your kitchen, you must also transport the beverage from their truck, which they will deliver to you. The project sheet gives you more details, so read carefully. Now, the first thing on the project sheet is that you predict what you think might happen. So make sure you do that before measuring. You might be thinking, Mr. Gold, Mr. Huerta, how do I know which is the right cup? How do I measure it? And what if my sink is full of dishes? First, wash the dishes, then you'll have an empty sink. Then decide if you want to use that sink, or if you have another sink, you can use that. Whichever one is more square shaped is going to be your best bet. I'm going to use my kitchen sink and I will show you how to measure. Now, if you don't have a ruler or a measuring tape, you can always print a ruler out. We're going to use centimeters. In a case that you don't have any of these things, all you need to do is email Mr. Huerta or myself, and we'll give you some sort of option, such as using a pen, which most pens are approximately 14 centimeters long. I found 3 cups in my house, and I'm trying to figure out which one to choose. Now, looking at these 3, I want to look for the straightest sides, and I want to figure out, does the bottom of it have anything I can use to find the radius? So for this one, the sides are bowed out and there's nothing on the bottom to help me. So I'm not going to use that one. If that's the only cup you have, that's totally fine, but I have 2 other cups, so let's see. Now on this one, the sides are straight, but they're on an angle. So I could use this, and the bottom has a little point that would give me the radius. So what's nice about this is I would just measure that line right there, and that would give me the radius. And then I would just measure the side by putting this up against it. Or I can use the short glass. Now with the short glass, I'm gonna look at the bottom and measure it, and I'm gonna get 7 centimeters. So I get 7 centimeters for the diameter. So if the diameter is 7, then the way to find the radius is I'm gonna do 7 over 2, because 2 radiuses give me 1 diameter, right? So that gives me 3.5. So R is 3.5. Now, I can measure the height, and I get 9. So I get H is 9, and so V equals pi times 3.5 squared times 9. And I put that on my calculator, and I'll get my volume. Now let's go to the sink. All right, we're at the kitchen sink. So, here we go. That's the sink right there. And what we're gonna do now is we are going to measure the width and the length, or the length and the width, whichever way you want, and the height. So, all right, so we have round corners. We're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna figure out approximately where that is, and that's gonna give me to here. So I know that that's 30 centimeters, and then you're gonna mark it with your finger, but because I'm holding a camera, I'm gonna estimate approximately where it's at, which is here, and I can look, and that's 10 centimeters, so the whole width here is going to be 20 centimeters. So I know that, and now I'm gonna check the length the exact same way. So now I'm checking the length, right? I line that up and make sure. So I got 30 to there. I'm gonna go off that little mark, make sure it lines up to here, right? And from that mark, that's gonna be 20. So I'm gonna have 30 and 20, which gives me 50. So right now I have 50 for my width, 20 for my length, and now I'm gonna just put this into the sink to the flattest part and go across, and that's gonna give me 19. So we have volume as length times width times height, and we said the length was 40, our width was 50, and our height was 19. So we're going to multiply those together, put it in the calculator, and you will have your final volume. So that's it. I've got my volume of the cup, volume of the sink, and now I can figure out how many trips it'll take to get that sink full. Gold